Meghan Markle has declared that her 5-year-old daughter Princess Lilibet is the source of her bravery, describing motherhood as her greatest superpower. The Duchess of Sussex, 45, shared these candid reflections during a question-and-answer session with Children for InStyle magazine, released on Saturday to promote her production company's latest documentary, Cookie Queens, when youngsters posed the question of what her superpower might be. Meghan responded simply, "Being a mum. I feel like we have superpowers because we juggle it all and enjoy it all with grace and grit at the same time." She elaborated on the subject of bravery. The Duchess revealed that her daughter Lilibet provides daily inspiration. "Every day when I feel a little bit like, oh gosh, can I do this? I go, Lily would do it." The Q&A also featured lighter moments, including a child's query about which biscuit Meghan would choose to be. "Trefoil, I think it's classic. It's classic, it's sweet, it's all the same color, and I like tonal dressing. It's the worst answer ever," she replied. Asked to name her childhood role model, the Duchess said, "I had a great teacher, Miss Linda. I looked up to her so much. She was my math teacher and I am not good at math." Meghan also urged young girls to follow their gut and praised the documentary's subjects as multi-dimensional and honest, adding that the girls had formed genuine bonds during filming. "I think we're our own little troupe," she said. Cookie Queens, directed by Alyssa Namias, received its premiere at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival in January before arriving in cinemas on August 7. Archie Productions, the media company established by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, collaborated with Beautiful Stories and AJ&A Films to bring the project to the big screen. The documentary tracks 4 determined young girls as they compete to become top sellers in the Girl Scouts cookie program, an enterprise worth some $800 million in which, as the film's description puts it, childhood and ambition collide. Back in January, the Duchess took to the stage at Sundance to champion the project. "This film is probably the cutest at the festival, but I'm also going to go out on a limb and say it is one of the most powerful and meaningful depictions of something that is an American tradition and rooted in nostalgia," she told the audience. She praised director Namias for presenting something modernized about the girlhood experience and all the layers of complexity that come with that. Archie Productions, which the Duke and Duchess founded in 2020, maintains an ongoing partnership with Netflix. The company's catalog includes the couple's 2022 documentary series Harry and Meghan's 2025 lifestyle program With Love, Meghan. Its broader portfolio also encompasses Live to Lead, a series featuring conversations with prominent world leaders and influential figures. Alongside the documentary's heart of Invictus and Polo, there are very few things in this world capable of softening the image of a woman who has spent the better part of 5 years at the center of one of the most polarizing debates in modern royal history. But what Meghan Markle revealed recently about her daughter Lilibet, Diana did exactly that, and it did something even more unexpected. It made people stop and listen in a way that no carefully crafted press statement ever could. This wasn't a headline engineered by a PR team. This was a mother speaking about her child. And for those of us who have followed every twist and turn of the Sussex saga, it landed differently. To understand why this moment matters, you have to go back to the beginning, not just of Meghan's royal journey, but of who she was before she ever set foot on British soil. When Meghan Markle married Prince Harry in May 2018 at Windsor Castle, she arrived as someone who had built her own identity, her own career, her own sense of self. She was confident, articulate, and by all accounts entirely prepared for the scrutiny that came with joining the firm. Or so it seemed. What followed, as we now know through the Oprah interview, through Harry's memoir Spare, and through the Netflix documentary, was something quite different. Meghan has spoken openly about the isolation she experienced within the institution, about the moments where she felt voiceless, about a period of profound personal struggle that she has described in terms that left little room for ambiguity. She felt, by her own account, profoundly alone despite being surrounded by the oldest and most powerful institution in the country. Then came Archie in 2019, born into a world already debating his identity, his title, and his place within a family that sources close to the palace have long described as deeply complicated at its core. And then, after the move to California, after the formal step back from royal duties in 2020, came Lilibet Diana, born in June 2021 in Santa Barbara, named after both the Queen and Princess Diana, a decision that itself sparked a fresh wave of controversy. Reports at the time suggested that not everyone within the royal family had been consulted before the name was announced publicly, though Harry and Meghan's team firmly denied those claims. Whether you believe one version or the other, the name alone told you everything about who Harry and Meghan wanted their daughter to be connected to, and perhaps who they needed her to be connected to. What has been less discussed, until now, is how Lilibet as a person, not as a name, not as a symbol, not as a narrative device in the Sussex story, has actually shaped her mother. Sources close to the Sussexes indicate that Meghan has been extraordinarily protective of both her children's privacy, far more so than her public persona might suggest. While Archie has made occasional, carefully managed appearances, Lilibet has remained even more shielded from the public eye. The few photographs that have been shared show a child with red hair and, by all accounts from those who have spent time with the family, an absolute force of personality. And it is that personality, according to reports emerging from Meghan's recent public engagements and interviews, that has become something of an anchor for her mother. Meghan has revealed that Lilibet, despite being a toddler, possesses a quality that she finds genuinely extraordinary: a fearlessness. A willingness to simply be herself without apology, without hesitation, without the weight of expectation that, as Meghan has made clear many times, she herself carried into adulthood. What makes this revelation particularly striking is the context in which Meghan shared it. This wasn't buried in a long-form interview designed to rehabilitate a reputation. It emerged in a moment that felt, to those paying attention, genuinely unguarded. Meghan described watching Lilibet navigate the world with a boldness that she herself has had to work very hard to reclaim. And the emotion behind those words was palpable. She said, in terms that have since been widely reported, that her daughter makes her feel brave. That watching a small child move through the world with such certainty reminds her that confidence is not something you earn through external validation. It is something you are born with, something you can choose, something that belongs to you regardless of what anyone else says or does or decides about you. For anyone who has tracked the arc of Meghan's public narrative, those words land with considerable weight. This is a woman who has been called calculating by some and courageous by others, who has been credited with modernizing the monarchy and blamed for destabilizing it, who has won awards and lost titles, who has built a new life in California while remaining, whether she chooses it or not, permanently tethered to the story of an institution she left. The idea that a 3-year-old child is the thing that makes her feel brave is not a PR strategy. It is, by any measure, a deeply human thing to say. The reaction to this revelation has been, predictably, divided. In the United Kingdom, where feelings about the Sussexes remain particularly complex, some commentators have pointed to the statement as further evidence of Meghan's tendency to make everything about her own emotional journey. Others, including a number of royal correspondents who have long been skeptical of the couple's public positioning, have acknowledged that this moment felt different, quieter, more sincere, less choreographed than the sweeping Netflix confessionals or the carefully timed memoir releases. Palace watchers have noted that the timing is not insignificant. Harry and Meghan have faced a considerable amount of criticism in recent months over their various professional ventures, with reports suggesting that some of their deals in California have not delivered the commercial success that was initially anticipated. In that climate, a tender moment about motherhood and courage is, some insiders suggest, an effective reminder of the human beings at the center of a story that has often consumed them whole. But here is where it becomes genuinely interesting. Because if you strip away the politics, the palace intrigue, the transatlantic tension, and the endless commentary from